Have you ever ended up doing something for someone, even though you didn't really want to? It might be that someone is using dark psychology tricks on you, and you're unwittingly falling prey to it. These tactics are designed to manipulate your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without you even realizing it. But fear not. By the end of this video, we'll reveal 9 dark psychology tricks, empowering you to identify these tactics whenever someone tries to use them on you. So without taking further time, let's start with number 9, gaslighting. Gaslighting is a manipulative tactic where someone tries to make you question your own thoughts, memories, and perceptions. They might twist the truth, deny things they've said or done, or even insist that events didn't happen the way you remember. For instance, imagine you confront a friend about a hurtful comment they made, but they insist they never said it, making you wonder if you imagined it. Gaslighters often use subtle techniques like minimizing your feelings or blaming you for their actions, leaving you feeling confused and unsure of yourself. This gradual erosion of your confidence can make it easier for them to control and manipulate you. Number 8, mirroring. Mirroring is like a friendly copycat game in social situations. It's when someone mimics your body language, speech, and tone without you even realizing it. Imagine chatting with a friend who starts to lean in when you do or speaks more slowly when you do. It's almost like they're copying your moves to feel more connected. Mirroring helps people feel comfortable and builds trust because it shows they're paying attention and on the same wavelength. So, if you ever notice someone mirroring you, it's likely they're trying to create a bond without saying a word. Number 7, negging. Negging is a sneaky way to try to bring someone down a notch. It's like when someone gives you a compliment that doesn't quite feel like a compliment. For example, they might say, "You're pretty funny for a girl," or "You're smarter than you look." These comments sound like praise at first, but they actually make you feel unsure about yourself. The goal of negging is to chip away at your confidence, so that you start to seek validation from the person doing the negging. It's a manipulative tactic that can leave you feeling off balance and more likely to go along with what they want. Number 6, the foot in the door technique. The foot in the door technique is like getting your foot in the door with a small favor before asking for something bigger. It starts innocently enough, like borrowing a pencil, then escalates to asking for notes for the entire semester. Once someone agrees to the first request, they feel more inclined to say yes to the larger one to stay consistent with their past actions. It's a psychological trick that plays on the human desire for consistency and commitment. By starting small and gradually increasing the requester increases the likelihood of getting what they want. It's a subtle but effective way to influence others' behavior. Number 5, the door in the face. The door in the face technique involves starting with an outrageous request directed at you, followed by a more reasonable one. Imagine someone asking you to donate $1 million to a cause, knowing you'll likely refuse. Then they propose a smaller, more manageable donation of a few $100s. That suddenly seems much more appealing. The initial rejection primes the person to feel more obligated to agree to the second, more reasonable request. This technique capitalizes on the principle of reciprocity, as the person may feel inclined to reciprocate after declining the initial request. It's a strategic way to increase the likelihood of compliance by leveraging the psychology of concession and compromise. Number 4, isolation. Isolation is a tactic used by manipulators to cut you off from your support network, leaving you more vulnerable to their control. This isolation can take various forms, from subtly undermining your relationships with friends and family to creating a dependency solely on the manipulator for emotional or practical needs. Manipulators may employ tactics such as spreading rumors, sowing seeds of doubt, or outright forbidding contact with your loved ones. By severing these ties, the manipulator gains greater influence over you, making it harder for you to seek outside perspective or support. Isolation can lead to feelings of loneliness, helplessness, and ultimately, increased dependence on the manipulator for validation and guidance. Number 3, love bombing. Love bombing is like being showered with affection and attention to the point of feeling overwhelmed. It's not just about compliments and gestures of love. It's an intense bombardment of affection, often accompanied by grand gestures and declarations of undying love. The love bomber may inundate you with messages, gifts, and constant praise, making you feel like the center of their world. This flood of attention can be exhilarating and addictive, leading you to believe that you've found your soulmate. However, once they see you're hooked on their love, they might suddenly stop giving you attention, making you crave it even more and gain control over you. Love bombing creates a sense of dependency and indebtedness, making it harder for you to recognize the toxicity of the relationship and break free from the manipulator's grasp. Number 2, scapegoat. Scapegoating is like playing the blame game to avoid getting in trouble yourself. It's when someone unfairly pins the blame on someone else for their own mistakes or problems. For example, if a project fails, they might point fingers at a team member who had nothing to do with it. Manipulators use scapegoating to shift attention away from their own shortcomings and onto someone else, making them the fall guy. This tactic not only deflects responsibility but also manipulates perceptions, turning others against the victim. Scapegoating can be damaging as it unfairly tarnishes the reputation of the scapegoat and perpetuates a cycle of blame and mistrust. Number 1, playing the victim. Playing the victim involves manipulating others by portraying oneself as the one who has been wronged or hurt. It's a tactic used to garner sympathy, manipulate emotions, and evade accountability for one's actions. Instead of taking responsibility, manipulators twist the narrative to paint themselves as innocent victims in order to gain support and validation from others. By exaggerating their suffering or blaming others for their own mistakes, they manipulate perceptions and turn others against those they perceive as threats. This deceptive strategy allows manipulators to avoid facing consequences and maintain control over their surroundings by manipulating the emotions of those around them. In your life, someone may have manipulated you using any of these 9 tricks without you even realizing it. Or perhaps, unknowingly, you may have used them on someone else. But next time someone tries to manipulate you like this, you'll know exactly what they're up to. Apart from these 9 tricks, if you want to know more tricks like these, just comment part 2 in the comments section below. If we managed to keep you hooked till now, give us a thumbs up and give that subscribe button a tickle for more insights, tips, and the coolest content. Until next time, stay connected and stay mindful. This is the Yays and Nays signing off for today.